Okay, let's talk about the GED exam and specifically what it takes to pass in 2020. So I'm going to be right up front with you. Not going to give you any special formula or advantage that's occurring in this particular year. I could make this video in the future. This is a lot like many videos I've made in the past. So what I'm going to be giving you is really timeless advice on what it takes to pass this exam. Okay, and I've been working with many adults through the last several years to help them to pass, but specifically I help them with their mathematics portion of the GED, because if you don't know, most people fail the GED because of math. It's typically the most difficult subject for people. So if you're looking for help with GED math, I'll leave a link in the description of this video to my GED math prep course. It has a fantastic track record of getting people to really learn the math that they need to know for the GED. So you can take a look at that if you want to. But with that being said, let's talk about what it takes to pass in 2020. So again, this is no different than years past or years going into the future. And in my opinion, a good formula to really think about this is your ability to focus plus your level of commitment. Okay, I'll just abbreviate these. The commitment here is what is going to get you to be able to pass the GED. So focus, now this seems like a pretty simple formula, and it's simple to look at, and I like to kind of keep things simple to think about because there's no need to make this more complex. But just because it's simple does not mean it's easy. So as you well know, focusing on something, okay, and this goes for myself as well, or anybody, especially this day and age, it's difficult, okay, because look, we got our phones, right, our cell phones are just we're constantly looking at them. I would even say that probably most people, including myself, maybe even have an addiction to them, because our life's on our email, our social media, text messages. If you got kids, you're checking in, family members, your work, or the news. It's difficult to focus when you have a device that is so readily available to take your time and attention away from you. So you really have to make a decision, a conscious decision to focus. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. A couple quick thoughts on focus that I think can really help you out is, one, try to find a defined place to study. Okay, so you'd say, okay, I'm going to go to this location. Maybe it's some place in your house, or maybe it's the library, or maybe it's your local Starbucks. You say, like, when I go here, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to focus on this one thing. You kind of have to really reprogram yourself. And it may do something along the lines of, I'm going to put my phone on mute, or I'm not going to look at it for 30 minutes or whatnot. As challenging as that might be, you're going to have to increase your focus and level of concentration to learn the material that's necessary for the GED. The GED is not an easy test to pass. There's a lot of material. If you think about it, again, the GED is a high school equivalency exam. You're going to be testing on, essentially all the main core topics that you would learn in high school. So that's 4 years of education. And back in, I believe it's 2013, they changed the exam to make it a little more challenging, if you will. They won't say that, hey, we made it purposely more difficult, but they made it in such a way where they're kind of aligned the GED to be more like, say, college prep. So if you can pass the GED, you're going to be in a very good position to go on to college and, of course, any other training program, whether it be like, say, nursing training or some sort of other vocational training. So, it's a really good goal for you to be able to pass the GED. Okay, so if you don't have your GED currently, and I assume you don't if you're watching this video, you absolutely should have this as your goal. And of course, if you're watching this in 2020, it should be one of your top goals. One of your resolutions for this year. Now, let's talk a little bit about this other part of this formula here, and that is your ability to commit. to this. Okay, so you got to state a goal, right? Your goal is to pass the GED, but your ability to commit, what does that mean? Well, there's a lot of different ways you can probably think of commitment, but one way I kind of like to think about it is your ability to keep with something when it gets very difficult. Okay, so when it gets hard, and it's going to get difficult, you might be, struggling with the math portion of things or the science things, and you get all your practice problems wrong, and you get frustrated. This is where you have to be on the lookout, okay? Because your mind is going to start playing tricks on you. It's going to be like, maybe I don't need the GED, or maybe I can do this, next year, or maybe I can push this off, or, you know what, this is too hard. I'm just going to study a little bit less because it doesn't seem to be working out for me, and I'll just take the test and hope for the best. This is a huge mistake people make. Okay, they think that passing a GED is just going to be easy. Right? You need to already tell yourself in advance, listen, I'm going to have to endure and do whatever it takes to pass. You got to make that decision in advance. And when you get that level of commitment, plus your ability to focus in on specific learning task, you are absolutely going to pass. Okay, but these are very difficult because our minds, okay, and our programming, our psychologies are very, we're very pre-programmed creatures. We have a lot of programming from our past, and even though you think you may not have programming going on, you absolutely do. Okay, you have these like subconscious routines, and you look at things. You kind of have your default settings where you're like, if something's difficult, you might look at things, and you might have a pattern of how you handle things that are difficult or things that take time. So before you start studying for the GED, you got to get yourself clear on, okay, I'm going to need to focus. All right. If I can't focus, I'm not going to be able to do this, and I'm going to have to stay committed, which means that you're going to have to make the GED a top priority in your life. Okay, and I've done many videos on the GED, so hopefully you'll consider subscribing to my channel and watch some of my past videos. But a lot of things I talk about there is you need to give yourself top reasons why it's important for you to pass the GED. Okay, and there's plenty of top reasons. One, in today's job market, it's becoming more and more competitive for those good jobs. Education is, they really want people with high school educations. So you need to take care of this GED to really open up, more opportunities for you to make more money, which is important, obviously, to survive in the world. So that reason alone is enough for you to be like, hey, if I don't have my GED, I need to really get this thing. And you can. I could tell you, from my experience, with thousands and thousands of people I've helped, I've seen all kinds of scenarios where it doesn't make a difference where your starting point's at. If you've been out of school 30 years, I've seen students who've been out of school 30 years, 40 years, who struggled, who left school in the 6th grade, they were able to get their GED. Okay, so you don't believe the story you're telling yourself if it's something along the lines of like, oh, I'm not smart enough, or I did poorly in school, so bad. I did so bad in school. I know I'm not a good student. I know I'm not smart. You have to like really get away from that programming. So it is the most important part in terms of passing a GED or doing anything of value is your psychology, your mental state. Okay, and specifically, if you keep in mind your focus and your commitment towards the GED, you're going to pass. All right, and what I mean by pass, it's like, well, is it going to take 2-3 years of studying to pass? No, it should not take that long. Obviously, if you stay committed and you're focused, and you work a good plan. I think for most people, you can definitely pass a GED probably within a number of months. Okay, some maybe a few amount of months, maybe 1 month. It all depends your starting point, but it shouldn't. You can definitely do it within a year. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with these two thoughts again. If you are struggling with the math part of the GED or you want some help, I'll leave the course link to my GED Math Prep course in the description of this video. Again, I've done many videos on GED. I will continue to do many more videos. Specifically, I do mostly on mathematics, but I like to give this general advice because this general advice is more important than the mathematics advice oftentimes I give, okay? Because if you're not thinking right, if you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't make a difference how much math you know or whatnot. You're gonna not be in the best position to pass. So hopefully you'll continue to be a subscriber to my channel. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, I definitely appreciate a thumbs up, and leave me some feedback. Let me know how things are going in terms of your desire to pass a GED. Like why is this important to you now? Or maybe you're concerned about something else. Your feedback is important to me. I try to read as many comments as possible, but it's the way I know how I'm doing, and it gives me ideas for future videos as well. But with that being said, I want to thank you for watching, and I want to wish you all the best in your efforts to pass the GED. Have a great day.